You're listening to Oilersnation Radio, presented by the Nation Network.
Thank you, Christmassy English lady.
Thank you, Jared, for making that.
Wow, Jared coming in with a little Christmas jingle before.
It was a pleasant surprise.
Wow.
Jared was all prepared for our big Christmas spectacular with the Real Life podcast.
Yes, today we are doing a very special Oilers Nation Radio. It's the Christmas spectacular with the boys from the Real Life podcast, which is me and Wanye and Jay, and those two aren't here, so it's just me.
And Big Mouth's normally on the ON Radio podcast also, so it's just us.
And that's the end of the Christmas Spectacular podcast. Here is the ON Radio podcast.
I want to thank our friends, as always, Sherwood Ford the Giant, for making this all possible. Oilers Nation Radio episode 17?
Yari Curry.
I have 17 written down, so that's what we have to do.
Cam's got 17 written down. Follow Sherwood Ford on Twitter at Sherwood Ford. Follow them on Instagram at Sherwood Ford _ the Giant. Chris, tell us what they have going on at Sherwood Ford right now.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Sherwood Ford for their Boxing Week sales starting 2 days early on December 24th.
So that is Monday.
Yeah.
Monday, the 24th, Christmas Eve.
That's because it's Boxing Week.
Because Christmas, yeah, exactly. So Sherwood, if you're shopping for a vehicle, Sherwood Ford's got sales on everything.
There is no better gift for the missus, for the husband, for your kids than a brand new Ford. That's what I think.
Mustang for the kids.
If anyone ever gifted me a vehicle, wow.
Wait, do people actually roll in on Boxing Day and just like impulse buy a car?
No. But it's like if you've been thinking about buying
if you've been thinking about it, and then you're like, all right, I'm going to plan this out. So I know.
So it's like waiting for a seat sale for a flight, kind of.
Exactly. If you know there's a Boxing Week sale coming in, right down to Sherwood Ford, right in a Ford F-150, and then all your friends are jealous.
Because I'm just thinking, like, imagine waking up at like 6 a.m., going down with your friends to Sherwood Ford, and they open the doors and everyone runs in and someone's just like, fuck it, time to buy a vehicle. It's 25% off.
I guarantee that'll happen. I bet there are people lined up right now for Boxing Day. Right now. And today is the 21st. Yeah.
They don't just have like a small amount of vehicles for sale. They've got nearly everything, lots of popular vehicles this year. So if you're actually looking for a new vehicle, go do it.
Next week, Boxing Week sale. Do it. Cam?
Yep.
You got to spend some time with Santa from Sherwood Ford this week.
I did. I enjoyed. Me, Jay, and Santa went and reviewed a donair place in Sherwood Park.
Wasn't it Chef Boyardee?
Yeah, it was weird. It was like the sweet sauce didn't really taste like sweet sauce. It tasted like pasta sauce. It was very bizarre. But the nice part of the experience is I got to sit on Santa's lap.
When was the last time you sat on Santa's lap?
I sit on Santa's lap every year because I always go to the mall and sit on a mall Santa's lap, and they're like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I'm like, "I want everyone at the content table to produce good content. I want to be able to produce good tweets. I want to be able to produce good podcast content and good articles." And Santa blesses me with his wand.
Wow.
Santa has a wand.
Are you going to the Nation Network, Santa?
Santa's wand.
Sounds like you're doing the company thing here.
Well, if you want to check out the Chef Boyardee edition of the Donair review, check that out on Oilersnation.com on our Facebook page. Go check it out. Santa was very excited that there was no reindeer in the Donair, Chris.
Yes, it was actually it was fun. I didn't know if Santa was going to come to the Donair shop dressed up, or if he was going to get dressed up in the bathroom or anything.
And just pop out, surprise, I'm Santa.
Imagine if he came and got dressed in the bathroom.
Excuse me, could I use the facilities for one moment?
I
he's carrying a gym bag.
No, he's brave. He walked in the dinner shop. Everybody like turned and was like, Santa, and he just said hi to everybody.
Because I think rolling in a regular outfit and then changing in the bathroom is infinitely more gutsy than just showing up in the Santa.
Okay,
yeah, I agree.
And
you know what? Tomorrow is the Oilers' last game before the Christmas break. And you know there are dudes out there who have been saving that game just so they can show up in their Santa costume. You know it. You know it's true, Chris.
Do any of us have a Santa costume?
I do. Well, not
Why'd
a costume.
You look right at me, Chris?
I have a Santa onesie.
Wow, Chris.
Wow. I literally scanned the room.
All.
I scanned the room, Dan.
You didn't look at me.
Dan, because you're jolly.
Wow.
You're jolly. Yes. You can't grow a beard worth of shit, though.
I can't.
Terrible Santa, no beard. All right, we're going to start off this week's podcast with Chris's very creepy dream about Connor McDavid. He started talking about it upstairs, and we were just like, no, don't say anything else. The audience of the Oilers Nation Radio podcast need to hear your thoughts about how you would befriend Connor. Go ahead.
This actually happened last weekend. I don't know how I forgot to tell you guys about it for a week. But anyways, here it goes. My dream about Connor McDavid. He was like, him and the boys being the Edmonton Oilers, just got back from like a road trip or something.
Which players specifically?
All I remember seeing was Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Anyways, they're in like this room and they're all
So it's just like generic crowd faces for the rest of them?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Because Leon and Connor were sitting on the front row of like their hangout room where they're watching TV.
What does their hangout room look like? I need you to build the environment.
It honestly looked like a movie theater. And we were in the front
So
row.
you and Leon Draisaitl and Connor
Connor
McDavid
McDavid
are watching a movie at a theater.
And there's 3 chairs in a row.
Nah, it was a few chairs, but they reclined and you could chill. Like it was like a couch.
So wait, it was a couch or it was a movie theater?
So it's like a dream home movie theater.
It wasn't a movie theater. It replicated a movie theater.
It'd be like,
with
what if you go
couches.
into a rich dude's house and they've got a theater in their own house?
You're focusing. Yes.
Okay,
What
go
was there like a TV or was it a screen or a
It was
projector?
a big screen. Don't worry too much about the details.
Go ahead.
You need
Was there a
you need
popcorn
the
machine
world to
in
be
the room?
built up for the story.
All right. So think of a rich man's
Or woman.
or woman's movie theater in their house. Thank you, Dan. Anyways, so Connor invites me in, and I go in, and I
Okay. Go on.
okay. I go in, sit in the front with Connor. Me and Connor are like, hey, what's up? And I like kind of feel guilty because I only know Connor and I don't really know the rest of the team.
Or Leon Draisaitl.
What do you mean you only know Connor?
Like,
you
I'm
don't
only-
know the rest of the team?
I'm only buddies with Connor in the dream. So anyways, we're hanging out and I feel like weird because I don't really know anyone else and I don't want anyone else to be like, who's this loser?
So
Are you having a hard time mingling or like you keeping to
No,
yourself?
everyone was like quiet and they were just watching the TV.
So probably like this fucking strangers in this house.
Why is your
Why did Chris walk in mid-movie?
Go ahead, Chris.
So then my
Continue.
buddy, Matthew Miller, shout out to Matthew Miller, he walks into the dream too. And he sits.
Oh, you got a plus one.
Is this Matthew Miller a real person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
I thought this was like
Chris got
another
a plus one to
I thought
the
this was like another celebrity that Chris like fabricated into the mix here.
No. So then Matt comes in and just sits in between Connor and I.
Oh,
And he starts talking to both Leon and Connor and like the rest of the Oilers. And like he's way more buddy with them than I am with Connor. And then Matt's my good friend, but he like started turning on me in the dream,
unbelievable.
saying like, why are you here trying to get in with Connor McDavid? Like you don't belong here kind of thing. And then so he's trying to force me out of the room and get me out. And I was like,
Which must have been upsetting because you were already having those feelings internally because you did not know the other.
exactly.
Okay,
I
go
already
ahead.
felt out and he was just bringing it to the surface. And then Leon Draisaitl kind of got into it too. And is like, he's like looking at me and he's like, yeah, why are you here trying to get in with Connor McDavid? Like
Whoa.
just leave us alone.
Big
kind of thing.
German telling you off.
So then Connor got rattled and he left and he went to bed. And then and I was like, Matt, like my,
This dream's about to take a turn. Here we go.
and then it was just me and Matthew Miller and Leon Draisaitl. And I just felt out of place. And then I left. And
Hold-
it's
Did you
very
go to bed with Connor?
No, I just went
Ah.
home.
I think we need to dive in and do a little bit of a dream analysis here.
Yeah.
And
No,
it's very jarring to me that in Chris's fantasy, in which he's meeting his favorite hockey player, the entire thing is just overridden with like general social anxiety. You're just like very upset that you're not going to be accepted by these people. And not only are you not accepted by the people you want to meet, your friend is also doesn't have your back.
That's
So what
actually
does this
so
say
true.
about your relationship with your friend?
This is also, it sounds more like a nightmare to me than
This
a
isn't a
pleasant
dream at all.
Maybe I need to call Matt.
Yeah, maybe you guys got some issues.
So what's
to work
going
out.
on with Matt? What did he do? Did he fuck you over somehow? What's going on here?
He pull a sneaky one on you?
No,
You should,
not really.
You should call Matt and have him listen to your dream.
Okay.
Because if you're just dreaming about this guy like ruining your life.
I think Matt saw a window. Chris wasn't going, or the door was cracked open for Chris to make friends, and he wasn't stepping through it. Matt saw his opportunity, and he shot his shot.
But what I see there too in the dream is that you said that Matt sat between you and Connor.
Yeah.
So when you sat down, you sat with a chair
Well,
between
no,
you and
it was
Connor.
it was a
He gave a
couch.
courtesy.
It wasn't a movie theater seating. It was a couch.
Oh, so he sat mid.
He just scooched in there.
Okay.
Unbelievable, Matt.
Yeah. But anyways, the best part about this whole experience was that the next day, I think it was Sunday, I saw like a tweet about Connor McDavid, and instantly I had like a subconscious feeling of thinking that guy is my friend because we were friends in the dream. And then I like snapped back to reality and was like, oh wait, it was a dream. I'm not friends with Connor.
Okay. Chris,
But in a way, we're all friends with Connor McDavid.
you'll be friends with Connor one day, Chris. Don't let Matt ruin your dreams. Literally.
Literally.
Or
I'm
figuratively.
really interested to see now as time goes along what ways Matt is going to sewer Chris in different settings.
I think we have to have an update every week.
I'm going to send this podcast clip to Matt. I haven't told him about the dream.
I've been dreaming about you, Matt. I want you to listen to me describe it to people that listen to
30
this.
listeners.
All right. Well, Chris, you had a hell of a week anyway.
I did.
First a Connor dream, then you get tickets to the game against St. Louis.
Yeah, I did. It was great.
You're up on the Kiss Cam.
Yep.
The nation's own Tyler Yaremchuk reported that it was arguably the worst Kiss Cam attempt he's ever seen.
So
Rick was at the game. We'll get his take on it as well. I'll let you start off. Chris, your thoughts.
All right, so let me preface this by saying that being on camera is not easy for anybody, and it takes a special type of person to do it. So when I saw the camera, first of all, they announced the Kiss Cam, and then Caitlin, my wife, and myself.
Whoa, humble brag. Jeez.
we started actually talking about the prize of going to Big Valley, and we're kind of mocking it a bit. And then, bam, we look up and we're on there. And so first of all, I felt the heat of the lights and the camera, the pressure on me. And then I did the stupid thing where I pointed at the Jumbotron and was like, oh my God, it's us. And then leaned over, gave a couple pecks, very standard Kiss Cam, finished it up, looked back at the Jumbotron. The camera's still on us. We're still on there. Then we like do a fake laugh or giggle. Then I was like, oh, that's great. We're on the Kiss Cam. Like, that's really cool. And then I go on Twitter and Tyler fucking Yaremchuk's just like ripping into me. He was like, no one said anything bad about the Kiss until Tyler put it on Twitter. And then all of a sudden, Twitter just turned on me.
But he gets shown up by like 70-year-old couples.
He was dressed up as Santa.
Okay, no, not that particular couple. That I agree with you.
So
They were going to win right away. I saw that.
As soon as I saw Mr. and Mrs. Claus, I'm like,
I was
well.
like, sorry, CTI, you're not winning this one. But there was no passion there.
No.
Where was like hey, this is my wife. I want every guy here to know it.
Well, we kind of got. I think it was a very standard like Kiss Cam. Like I didn't like climb on her lap and lick her face or anything.
There could have been a little more passionate. I think that's all really anybody wanted. It's December. It's Christmas time. There's love in the air. You need to put out that little bit of effort. That could have been your one shot at fame.
Yeah, I definitely have a thought on this.
You may have missed it,
but I don't know if it's podcast appropriate.
Everything is.
So I don't think I'm going to say it. But
Okay, well, why are you leaving us hanging now?
I just don't know if it's podcast appropriate.
Okay.
But I'll just say it anyway. And
Jared,
I've already mentioned this to you guys. And Jared, you can feel free to cut this out if you think it's
He's
bad.
shaking his head no.
So what it looks like is Chris went home and he rubbed one out right before the game, and he had no energy.
I was exhausted.
He was burnt out.
No, it was like I don't know. Do you discuss with your significant other what you do if you ever get on the Jumbotron?
I have.
No. Have you?
I
We've
have.
never discussed this, so I didn't know what she was gonna do. If she was gonna go for like a makeout, just like a peck.
This is what I think you do, especially since you were in great seats.
Mm-hmm.
Tarps off. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
You've been doing all those push-ups after losses.
Mm-hmm.
Show off the glam muscles. You've been working on them.
Hold on.
But
Tarps off.
It kind of like you saw yourself up there and you kind of just froze. That's what happened to me.
Because, sorry, I have to interject here because, Chris, how many push-ups are you behind right now?
Just 150.
Well, that's not bad.
Okay,
I'm still behind 2 cans of beats. So anyway,
I thought it was. Sorry.
all those push-ups you've been doing all season after Oilers losses, tarps off. That's first move. You're going to get a roar for the tarps off, right? Next thing you do, slam that beer you got in your hand down. Down the hatch it goes. Then you grab your missus, you give her a dip, old school, like sailor style from the 50s. Lay one on her like she's never received before. That is a passionate kiss. That's what Rick's talking about. That's passion.
I don't think I'd have enough time to do that.
Sounds like you did.
Well, you know what's
You could execute all that in 3 seconds easily.
that's the thing is you don't know if they're gonna have the camera on you for 3
If you take-
seconds, or 15 seconds.
Yeah,
you-
if the guy, Rick makes a good point behind me. The cameraman is not going to turn away from you if you go tarps off, beer down, grab the missus, passionate kiss. Fuck you, Santa.
Because
those are my
when
BB
you have
tickets.
when you have people that dive in, like they jump on the other person and it looks like they're wrestling. Like they let that ride for like 10 seconds, and that could have been you.
Camera guy's not going to shut that down. He's going to lose his job if he gets in there. Like, dude, he's about to dip her, and then you go over to the boring couple on the side there. No, you need to dive right in, take full advantage of it, create your moment with her. This way, when you guys have grandchildren, You can sit there one day around the Christmas tree and tell them about it.
This is how it started.
I think we lost the battle before it even started. They already had Mr. and Mrs. Claus lined up. But
I'm telling you, man, tarps off, beer down, dip the misses. That's a winning combination.
I have a
right
prediction that a week from now, Chris is going to have a dream where he's at the Oilers game and he looks up and he sees himself on the kiss cam and he goes to kiss his wife. And guess who's there in the middle?
Matt.
It's Matt. And
Matt.
then Matt kisses your wife.
there. Matt kisses the wife. Matt kisses the wife, and then they enjoy the BVJ weekend together.
oh man,
Man,
With Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and Chris is not welcome in that social setting.
Anyways,
and then the end of the dream, he ends up back in that theater, but he's by himself, and the TV won't turn on. It's just it's a whole nightmare. This first segment. Oh, sorry, Chris. Go ahead. Finish.
I appreciate the chirp from Tyler Remchuk. He saw an opportunity and he took it.
He's reporting. He's reporting the news for the nation.
Yeah, and he tweets that like the chirp sitting from the press box. Probably, I can only imagine.
Tyler does not get.
There's no way he's
No?
out.
Okay, good.
Also, Tyler's never kissed a girl in his life. He doesn't know.
That's what I was saying.
He doesn't know what a good kiss looks like. We saw him for the first ever time at the Pint get a girl's number. It was one of the bartenders that worked there, and he frolicked out of the bar
Yeah,
after.
He skipped out. He's walking on clouds.
I would like to challenge Tyler to even bring a girl to an Oilers game. Never mind.
roasted
her on camera.
Shots fired, Tyler.
Wow.
Take that
I was
down your
just going to
gullet.
say,
your
I'm
Remchuk.
mad at your Remchuk for stealing my tweet about the Leafs earlier this season, but wow, you just
Your Remchuk's taking some
took it
heat.
deep.
This first segment of Oilers Nation Radio, actually a recap of Chris's life, is brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giant. Check them out on Twitter at Sherwood Ford. Follow them on Instagram at Sherwood Ford_the Giant. Go check them out on the Boxing Week sale. Get yourself a brand new Ford. Right, Chris?
Yeah.
Maybe a Mustang? That'd be nice. Nice Mustang, Dan. Can you imagine yourself cruising around in a Mustang, one that you picked up on Boxing Day morning?
Well, you know what? I liked your idea from earlier this week, Bag Milk. What was your idea for us at the Nation here?
Oh, Sherwood Ford. I know I pitched this in the Beatcast from the other day, but we're going to go into this real quick. Instead of a Nation truck for next season, this is what we're doing. We are getting 7 1987 Ford Escorts. GTs if possible, but we may have to keep our hearts open because they're hard to find. Jared and I were looking around for 1987 Ford Escorts, and they can be tough. So we're not gonna die on the GT hill.
But
However,
they have a year to try and figure this out.
exactly.
They're good.
7 1987 Ford Escort GTs if possible.
No, we need to get a
Different colors, Cam.
What we need is a Nation Ford Econoline that we go around and we pick people up and we have a lot of fun in the back.
Or we get 7 1987 Ford Escorts and we all get one, and we are like the coolest cruising unit convoy this city has ever seen. So you want to pick up some friends? All 7 of us get in our Ford Escorts and rip on out there. That is advertising.
It'd be like when we drove out to the golf course.
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
At the end of the year, we have a destruction derby with anybody else that would like to show up.
Well, and that's the point of the 87 Ford Escort,
Yes.
is that nobody cares. We can run into each other. It'd be great.
So in the Ford Escorts, it'd be like me, Bag Milk, Dan, like Rick, Jared, Evan the intern,
Not Chris.
Chris's friend Matt, not Chris.
Exactly. See,
Damn it, man.
the problem with the Nation truck, which is a beautiful truck, it really is. There's only one of them cruising around.
Mm-hmm.
Going out to Jay's house, coming to the office,
Getting
doing
tickets.
some errands, getting tickets. However, think of how many tickets we could get if 7 of us had 1987 Ford Escort GTs that were covered in Sherwood Ford, the Giant logos and Nation logos. Man, what a hell of a gang we'd be, Dan.
And if you park them all together, it makes one giant mural of a photo.
Man, there's nothing not to like about
that.
this.
Could we also have like a picture of us personalized on each one? Like
Of course.
like a drawn smiling face.
Of course.
100%.
Of course. Twitter handles on there. Nice portrait. Maybe we jump in each other's cars so that I could drive a car with a portrait of Coom on the front. Man, I'm having a great time with that. Hashtag Nation Escorts.
Oh,
Hashtag Nation Escorts.
end podcast. We're done. That's it.
Yeah, Sherwood
See
Ford.
you guys after
If
Christmas.
Sherwood Ford doesn't hook us up with this, what's even the point anymore? Like,
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. We've got good ideas coming out on the Christmas Spectacular episode. Wanye, thoughts? Good chat.
He agrees.
All right.
He agrees.
Right. He's nodding in approval. Boys, news from practice yesterday. It was the first time, really, that we've seen Ken Hitchcock pull out the blender and do a full spin. We've seen some tweaks, Dan. We've
Yep.
seen some guys move here and there.
Mhm.
But this was the first time that he's really really taken out the mixer. So, new first line. We're going to go line by line, and I want to get your thoughts. Real quick, around the horn. First line, McNuge is back together. Puljujarvi in the mix. Dan?
Love it. Love Puljujarvi with RNH, and then McDavid is just amazing.
Chris?
I'm satisfied.
Okay.
I don't like it because Nugent Hopkins has proved that he's the best defensive center on the team, and now you're putting him back on the wing. And if you want to do a mix-up, put Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins together.
I just feel like everything that we do, we have to do it again because Hitchcock is the coach.
Well, yeah,
That's a hard sentence to get out.
What? He is the manager coach?
Well, yeah, he has his hands on the steering wheel now, so he's going to want to get a feel for some of the things that we've seen already before. But I like having Puljujarvi up there. I'm a little bit worried about him keeping up in speed-wise, playing those big minutes. I don't know if that's really where he needs to be right now, but sprinkling him in there for 15 to 17 minutes on that line, yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, what are the odds he stays there the whole game?
Here's what I want to see. If Puljujarvi, I thought he's been playing really well lately. If he can do simple things like get his giant Finnish ass to the front of the net, keep his stick on the ice, let Connor and Nuge do their wizardry and move it around the offensive zone, be ready to get greasy goals, my friend. And if you do that, as Alex Chiasson has proven, then he'll be all right.
Well, and it's about shooting too, and that's another thing that Chiasson has done is just take your shots.
Well, I mean, when every third shot is going in,
yeah,
you're having
that's
a
fair.
damn fine season.
That's fair, and he's picking his spots too. He's going to the right spots.
He's
playing a simple game. He's playing a very simple game. He's getting greasy goals, and I love it. Chris?
Yeah, that's what Chiasson does best is get in the openings. Man, why am I having such a hard time talking? Gets in the openings.
Chris battles English.
And he's one-timing shots. Like, he's not, thinking. He's just shooting. And that's what Puljujarvi needs to do. And I think he has the ability to do it 100%.
Matt's in your head, man.
Yeah, man.
Matt is in your head.
Now.
All right, second line. You mentioned Chiasson. Second line is Reeder, Draisaitl, Chiasson. Reverse order. Coom, thoughts?
I maintain what I said before, and I would like to see a second line of Reeder, Nugent Hopkins, and Draisaitl. Keep Chiasson with McDavid and Puljujarvi. That can be your top line.
Who is it again? Reeder,
Chiasson,
and Draisaitl.
Yeah,
and your friend Matt.
We had the whole segment. The whole first segment was all about you, Chris.
I know.
I just checked out.
I just
He's rattled right now. Matt's in his head.
It's just like, we're not talking about me. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you lose. Well, I like it. I mean, put him on the ice. We'll see what happens.
I like it.
I know.
Get out there and play the fucking game.
We lost 2 games in a row. Just score goals and I'll be happy. I don't care who plays together.
I like Reeder's speed on that line. I like Chiasson's goal scoring ability there, and then Draisaitl is just Draisaitl.
Without the suspension, I put Khaira there instead. Reeder, great player, whatever, but he's definitely not a top 6 guy. He's a bottom 6 guy, but we don't have a lot of guys to sprinkle in there anyways. But yeah,
I think he's a good utility guy. Good guy to splice in there for a short stretch.
And throw him in.
I like Reeder a lot. He's super snake bitten right now. I think that they had some success, Draisaitl and Reeder, before Reeder got hurt.
Yes.
Maybe they can rekindle. Chiasson, like I said, he's shooting every third shot's going in right now. So fuck yeah, Chiasson, keep that rolling for as long as you can, pal. Third line right now, they split up the grit-tensity line. Grit-tensity. I didn't like the identity line name. I felt like we needed better. Grit-tensity smashes up my favorite things about hockey.
Grit-tensity sounds like a name of like an iTech shoulder pad that you would buy in
You'd wear those.
2003.
You'd wear those.
iTech Grit-tensity.
You'd wear those.
A really thick shoulder pad.
Kajula, Brodziak, Cassian. Lucic got the bump in favor of Kajula. Personally, I'll start off this one. I guess Hitchcock's like, well, Lucic is never going to score again. So he's going to move down. And I'm going to put the Drake there. Hopefully spark a little bit of offense. That's what I'm thinking. Drake is kind of like, he fits in the sense that he's an aggressive checker. Likes to throw the body. He gets in the mix. Gets greasy. I can see how he can fit there. We'll see how it goes. Dan, thoughts?
I think Hitchcock just knows that I don't have a Lucic game on my goal draft for a while. And so he's just like, put him on the 4th line.
Chris?
Well, Puljujarvi scored on the 4th line last game, so maybe this means something for Lucic this game.
Nice little one-timer too. JJ Khaira set him up on a tee. Clapper.
Are you comparing Lucic and Puljujarvi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I agree with Kajula going on the 3rd line. I think he played well on Tuesday against Blues. He's gritty.
No, Gritty is the mascot of the Flyers.
Love Gritty. Cam, thoughts?
Is Valentin Zikov still on the team?
Valentin Zikov is still on the team.
happening.
However,
That's
he is
still
not
happening.
playing. I actually got him on my list coming up as an extra. Your thoughts on the new grit tensity line with Kajula replacing Lucic?
I don't know. I like just like hemorrhaging Lucic onto that line because I think you just accepted that group wasn't going to score, and now I think you're creating for like a fourth line that won't score for sure now.
I think
you split that all up, then you're creating two black holes.
That's an interesting point. One problem I had, I liked the grit tensity line and what they brought. They were just playing way too many minutes. On a good team, that's a solid fourth line, but they were playing like 15, 16 minutes a night. That's too much. Anyway, new fourth line is Lucic, Spooner, and Ratty because Jujhar Khaira got suspended. We're going to cover that immediately after. New fourth line, Dan, thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's where the offense goes to die now, and that's what you expect of your fourth line. Just get a couple of good minutes out of them, and then that's fine.
Yeah, I think JJ's suspension is really going to affect our bottom six. So I'm not expecting a lot out of that fourth line.
Yeah, just like same old. The bottom six never scores, and no matter how you shuffle these chairs, it's not going to change. The Titanic will sink.
Quality fourth line. One guy's obviously getting paid a little too much to be there. But going back, I would actually put Drake on the second line and put Reeder on the third. I like that.
So
Drake brings a lot more offense. He's got points this year. Reeder's got an assist.
I agree with that, except I also agree with Bagnock's point that Reeder and Draisaitl are having a connection thing.
What connection? He has one assist.
They have 7. He has 7.
He's at 7 assists?
Yeah. He's all the assists.
Oh, he has one with him, right?
Yeah, remember before he got injured,
Reeder
Reeder was putting up some points.
He was.
I don't know. I like Drake there. Leon's a passer. Drake's a shooter. If you have two passers on that line, I mean, obviously Chiason's there. He's been putting them all in, but there's not much you can do with this lineup the way it's built anyway. So let Hitch do his thing.
Yeah.
Sprinkle some guys here and there. Try and spread things out, and
that's what I'm saying.
It's gonna be a long one on Saturday anyway. So
it's like we have to redo all of these line combinations because we have a different coach.
Well, what's interesting about that fourth line is Spooner centering because Khaira's suspended. That fourth line just seems to rotate Connor and, well, I guess it'll be Leon now that Nuge just moved back to the first line. Connor's going to rotate through there, so maybe that's a way to get Lucic playing with Connor a little bit to try and spark some offense. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm reaching probably. Ratty is having the up and down season of a lifetime where he starts on McDavid's wing and now he's on the fourth line under Hitchcock. We'll get some shifts with Connor, but that fourth line is not going to score a whole lot. Spooner trade just looks weirder and weirder as the days go on. Cam, you have something to say? I can see it in your eyeballs. No. Okay. Zikov is still an extra man. Cam brought him up, I should say. He hasn't played in a while. He doesn't skate all that well, but I thought he's been playing well enough to get himself into the lineup. What is going on with him? He's a free pickup, found money. Anybody have a thought on why he's not playing other than he can't skate very well?
I don't know. I would like to see him get a consistent shot. I think that's always been kind of my thing is, with Jesse, the same thing. I want to see a guy get 5 or 6 games with the same lineman late before you cast him off. But it feels like he might just be destined for the waiver wire.
Who are you gonna swap him out for though?
I would definitely take out Ratty in this lineup. He'd be in the fourth line.
So you're gonna play Zykov over Ratty?
Yep.
Man,
yeah. See, I'm gonna play Ratty over Zykov. I don't think I haven't seen him do anything all that great. I know he has some decent fancy stats out there. So he has puck control and whatnot. But I don't think he's done anything. Nothing on that ice has gripped your eyes. Nothing he's done out there has said, okay, this is why he's here. This is something we can believe in. So I've seen a lot more out of Ratty there. That I don't. Yeah. Other than pulling out Lucic and just trying anybody on that spot. I don't see any reason why you put him back out there.
Yeah, I think we're at a point where all of our bottom 6 is like, they're not good, but they're just good enough to not be replaced by Zykov. And I think Ratty's look good. He just can't put the puck in the net, and he can't. He's fast and he's shifty and he's good without the puck in the offensive zone. He's just not scoring.
I guess I don't know if you're not going to be taking out Ratty, you're not going to be taking out these guys in the bottom 6 that are just good enough to not be taken out. Then why did we use the waiver pickup on Zykov anyways?
They got space on the contract list. I mean, I can see why they picked him up in the sense that it's found money, right? Like if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then you're really not losing out on too much.
Zykov needs one more point to tie Igor Vizamikin for 18th in Oilers all-time scoring among players from Russia and the Soviet Union.
That is a callback to an earlier episode of Oilers Nation Radio where Koom did a little guess the Russian scores, and it was quite the list.
160 more points from Zykov, and he can tie Boris Mironov for
Shout out to Bobo.
Most Oilers Russian
Shout out to
points
Bobo.
ever.
He was a hell of a player. Hell of a player. Hell of a player. Boris Mironov should be on everyone's mind. Chris, I suggest you even go get yourself a Boris Mironov jersey.
Sure.
Thoughts?
I'll just recrest my Connor McDavid jersey.
Yeah, because he doesn't like you.
Yeah, he likes Matt. We already know that.
Because Boris Mironov wore 97?
Boris Mironov wore 97. He was also the captain. Everybody knows this, Dan?
Yes.
Let's move on. Now, I want to give a shout out to our friends at Get Sauced. We were in communication with them yesterday. We are closing in on radio silence. They were trying to get it here for us today to have a little sniff. Rumor has it that it is going to be a death sauce.
They're even making a label for it and everything. Like they're going.
Really?
Well, they're going to be
They're
selling
bottling
it.
this. They're making a label.
I want them to wait and make the label after I fucked Jay up with my trivia, and the logo is a picture of him in.
Well, okay. What would be more intimidating for you
anguish.
guys? Just a bottle of hot sauce with nothing on it,
Except
no
for a
label or
warning,
anything?
like something that you would see when you're taking
Yeah,
like a
like
Wimmis course.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Explosive and corrosive.
You got like half the Wimmis logos on
every
there?
single one of them.
Yeah. But I like the idea of us maybe getting it soon so that we can tease this until Jay's back from Australia. If you listen to Monday's episode of Real Life, Jay is checking in from Australia. He's spending Christmas down there with friend of the nation, Noopsy Brown. And he's going to come back to getting a punch in the mouth feelings by our friends at Get Sauced. If you want to check them out for some gifts or just to spice up your life, shout out to the Spice Girls. Go check them out. GetSauce.com, 9620 58th Avenue, 780-462-2418. Give them a call. They're fine people with fine sauces. We talked about the line combinations. A big part of that, especially Spooner getting back in, is the suspension of Jujhar Khaira. Tuesday, he gave Vince Dunn a classic cross-check to the face. You're not allowed to do that, Chris. You're not allowed to do that. Personally, I thought, we were talking about The Office earlier this week, I thought he was going to maybe get a game.
You said one or two.
Yeah.
One or two. Yeah, like I felt like it because you can't cross-check guys to the face. You just can't. But I understand when you're swinging a big old hammer around, sometimes things get out of control and you misfire. You misfire and you land in the face and you're like, ah, crap. It felt like Jujhar, as soon as he got his stick up, looked at him and he's just like, ah, shit. I didn't mean to get him in the face, but that's what happened. 2 games, Dan, fair? Thoughts?
I thought it was going to be a fine. I thought that, it's kind of wild that he gets punished that much more than Dunn did because Dunn was the one that initiated the exchange there and Jujhar just finished it.
Dan, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Well, often they don't, but in this league, sometimes they do. And it's still a spin of the wheel. Jujhar Khaira, first time offender when it comes to a suspension. And here we are.
What I'll say is that I think Vince Dunn on that play was looking like a real sugar plum.
Oh.
That was the word of the day that Jared tossed me, and there's no way I could work that into a sentence. So I was like, I'm going to wait for an opportunity and just refer to somebody as a sugar plum. I don't know. But no, he started that shit, and I mean, Dunn should have gotten a suspension because, I mean, the hits were like pretty similar, right? But whenever you're the one retaliating, you're going to get caught because the ref's probably going to see the first thing, they don't call it, now their eyes are on you, and they're watching it happen.
Here comes my inner Don Cherry and Brian Burke. If you get rid of the instigator penalty, he turns around, drops his gloves, grabs them, and he starts tossing them in the crease there.
Yes.
You don't have to bring out the cross check. You can sit there and do it the way it was always been done, the way it's supposed to be done. And then we have some content for hockeyfights.com.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's the way it would have been handled, even 5 or 6
It still
years
should
ago.
be that way.
But it can't be because the league has decided that the
We'd
instigator
rather have
and
cross checks. And
and
to be fair, what's the worst that happens if he drops them? 10-5-2?
well, and they rely on the
10-5-2 and he plays on Saturday.
The league now relies on the Department of Player Safety to fix stuff. And
Okay, but
solve stuff.
even if he drops gloves and starts pounding on them, he gets 10-5-2 and he plays on Saturday. There's no suspension,
No, I agree.
right?
But in this league, you can't do it anymore.
And it's funny how the other guy got his fine, before they figured out what Khaira's issue was, what Khaira's penalty was.
Well, he
gonna
got the max allowable fine under the CBA for not having a.
Was it like $1,900?
Yeah.
14 or it was $1,942.
and like 32 cents or something. I definitely don't agree that the cross checks were similar. Like I think Dunn got his cross check up high and it hit the back of his Jujhar's head, and then JJ like his eyes turned red and he looked at Dunn and he went for blood and he tried to
go for blood. If he wanted to go for blood, he would have. There would have been blood.
I think he
reacted. He came back.
Yeah, and like much harder.
Exactly the same way. He just did what Dunn wanted to do, but he did it better.
I think Dunn. It was a battle going to the net, and Dunn. It was like a dirty battle on Dunn's behalf, and that's where the fine was. And
Dunn was pissed off because he got knocked in the boards by a bigger, badder player.
No, I think the suspension was right there. Like JJ's offense was a lot worse than Dunn's. You have to admit that.
In hindsight, yeah, you're right. And it has to be 2 games.
So then I thought 2 games was a little much because he's a first-time offender, and he already got the match penalty or whatever. He got kicked out of the game, so he missed the third period.
The last of whatever it was. Yeah, it could have been a 1-gamer, but
I would have been happier with 1 game. But honestly, man, JJ is already a badass around the league, and just to get a 2-game suspension, like no one will fuck with him now. It'll be great.
Well, last year, one thing that JJ kind of established himself as is a destroyer of worlds, in the sense that if you drop the gloves with him, he will punch your head off your shoulders.
Yeah.
So I feel like now he's kind of got a reputation as a guy who will beat the shit out of you. And I don't know if Vince Dunn wants any part of that. He wants nothing to do with it. Again, when you're swinging the big hammer around, sometimes the nail gets it.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Chris?
Yeah, that was okay. That was a good one, I guess. I totally agree with the hockey fights thing, though, man. Just to watch them drop it and just settle it right there, that'd be great.
5 and 2 instead of 2 games.
Yep. Rick loves fights.
Rick does love fights.
So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Rick is fired up about fights, so I'm going to skip ahead in our itinerary a little tiny bit. Since we're talking fights, we're going to talk a little bit of Tom Wilson and Alexiak from the other night. Dan, you clipped it for hockey fights. That was a KO blow from Tom Wilson. What was the reaction like? The thing about Tom Wilson is he's so divisive. If you're a Caps fan, you're probably like, fuck yeah, that was awesome. But everybody else seems to hate the dude right now. So what was the reaction on hockey fights in terms of what happened with him and not Penny Alexiak?
Well, the first thing to mention is that, like, for hockey fights, while we love seeing the fight and everything, don't like seeing Alexiak get up dazed like that. So we kind of took the approach of just, kind of being shocked at it and let people discuss it how they may. And so to your point there, Bag Milk, Tom Wilson is probably the biggest POS kind of guy around the league right now. People just hate him for the sake of hating him.
Can he still be the POS if he backs it up though? Like, I understand what you're getting, but this is the one guy who actually, like, Alexiak's like larger than Little Brick right now. Like, he's a huge dude, and he said, "Okay, let's go at it." I think does that not take you to a better spot? I guess
it does for us, like from a standpoint of hockey fights, but for the fans, the lion's share of them just hate him because he's Tom Wilson, and so it doesn't really matter. Like, it was a lot of, Alexiak let him get to that point, or Wilson didn't let Alexiak get set, even though Alexiak was the one that punched first.
Yeah, I don't know if we can. I think people are just trying too hard to hate on Wilson at that point. It was a legit fight. It was fair as fair can be. Yep. And he landed a blow that took the big fella down. It was an unreal lucky punch. In the sense that, like, Wilson's probably not aiming to knock the guy out as much as he is to just beat his face up. Well, I think every punch out you're trying to knock the guy out. Maybe, yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of hate for Wilson in that one, more so than just enjoying the Do you think anybody actually likes him a little bit more now, I guess, because he actually stood up as opposed to just being a rat who would do something stupid and go hide? I think because he stood up for himself, I think you kind of have to think a little bit better of him as opposed to, the Sean Averys of the world who would do something stupid and then or the Matthew Tkachuk's who would, do something stupid and turtle. Yeah, there's definitely there's going to be an element of, he dropped the gloves and that kind of thing. So yeah, you put him above a Brad Marchand or a Matthew Tkachuk kind of deal where they don't necessarily answer the bell every time. But yeah, it's Wilson's just always going to be that guy that makes people angry.
Tom Wilson is making every penny of his massive contract this summer worth it, in my opinion, to the Caps.
Especially when he was suspended for those.
Well, but even still, like he's creating a rep for himself. If he already he already had one, but he's just like keeping it up, and his team. Like he's the one guy in the NHL that no one will mess with on the ice, and that you actually have to know where he is at all times, because you never know what he's going to do. And at the same time, he has 16 points in 14 games. So he scores goals and puts up points and helps the team win. And he also will punch you in the face and knock you out.
He's one of those guys that when he's on your team, you love him. And when he's not, you hate him. Thanks for that. Puberty. 32 years old. Puberty still going through it.
Sticking in line with fights, we had another massive fight come up this week. An epic battle. But this one happened in the concourse. This one happened between a mascot and a patron
I almost
at the
forgot
Chicago
what you were talking
Blackhawks fight. At the Chicago Blackhawks game. Dan, you had this one up on Hockey Fights as well, at least on social.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the mascot fight that went down in Chicago.
Shout out to the Hockey Fights fan. I can't remember his user handle, but he added me and I got it right away. But yeah, there was a fan who I don't know his name, and police are currently looking for him, who actually hopped into my mentions on Hockey Fights and let me know that he approached Tommy Hawk and told him he's Team Gritty, to which Tommy Hawk squared up with him. Now, I'm sure that it was a
playful square up, as mascots tend to do.
I'm also sure this guy was like 6 beers deep.
Well, and he admitted, but later deleted the message that said that he went to take the guy's head off. Which is against the mascot code.
Every mascot wants to like be in the middle of a large crowd and have their lid taken off to reveal some like sweaty, confused looking guy.
Yeah.
That's everyone's dream.
Exactly.
It also furthers Chris's point that the dude is probably 6 beers deep if he's thinking that pulling the mascot's head off is a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that was the end of that guy's night. Tommy Hawk took it to the next level.
He just spanked him. It was
He
unbelievable.
did. He picked him up. He dropped him. He had a chance to get the atomic wedgie on, so credit to Tommy Hawk for not giving the atomic
I thought he was going
wedgie
to drag
the
that guy into a bathroom and dunk his head in a fucking toilet. That's what it looked like.
He dropped him twice, and then he dragged him into one of the team stores. It looked like, and then they broke
and made
up.
him purchase just like the
Yeah.
worst
Just like-
jersey.
He made him purchase his own jersey.
Just a
his own
really,
jersey.
really weird jersey.
Well, the thing too about mascots is, and I'm just guessing here, I assume that they're all mostly in reasonable shape.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
They're all
Like,
running
they're-
around, jumping up and down. And that suit's heavy, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I mean, Hunter shredded. Jared was at the game the other night against St. Louis. He got a little photo shoot with Hunter. Nice look at the abs. Pecs, too. Pecs, very defined. Looking like Chris over there, tarps off. Anyway, back to the mascot.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're
just
there for the kids.
Just leave the mascot alone.
Mascot squares up with you. It's a joking square up. He doesn't want to fight you. It's like I don't know what day it was.
But
It's
if
like a
you
Monday
continue-
night and he's at work.
If you continue trying to dox him, he's going to beat the shit out of you, and you deserve it.
Yes, I agree.
Could you imagine if someone tried to do that to Gritty?
Well, here's the
Gritty would-
funny thing. It's
Gritty would
interesting you
stab
ask
you.
that.
Yeah, he's
Because the NHL put out a poll there yesterday asking which mascot is the most terrifying, and Tommy Hawk took the top
really.
billing
See,
there
he's sending a message
because of this fight. Yeah,
Tommy Hawk don't take no shit. That's
Yeah.
what we learned this week.
100%.
I gained a lot of respect for Tommy Hawk. He wasn't on the radar of relevant mascots.
No.
Because it was
No.
just Gritty had that, and now Tommy Hawk's in the mix.
Hunter was also in the mix in that poll.
Do you know where he
Third
came
place.
off the top of your head? Third place.
I'm gonna-
Who's
Gritty
second?
was second.
Oh, okay.
Gritty's still.
Hey,
terrifying.
we're top 3.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hunter for being top 3 and the most terrifying mascots in the NHL.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Fantastic.
And as we found out, go check out Oilers Nation's Instagram page. He shredded. Jared was within a hand distance. He could have rubbed those abs if he wanted to,
He should
but he
have.
didn't. He's in control of himself.
I noticed Hunter was also doing like walking up the hand railing.
That's what I talked about that the other day.
Isn't
Very
he?
impressive.
That's nuts.
Dangerous.
What if he falls?
Exactly. But
What
you
if
know
someone just like pushes him?
He's got core strength, so he's secure in
good.
his footing.
It's wild. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad you saw it too, because I was blown away when I saw it last week's game against Philly. It was it? Oh, Rick's seats got he's got these fantastic fancy seats down there. Hunter's all down there in the mix. Good for you, Rick.
Hunter never comes to the second
I was
bowl.
just gonna say.
No, Hunter was on the second level last time, I think.
Okay.
Oh no, that was the t-shirt toss. I was in the section with the t-shirt toss.
Jesperson is not the mascot, although he does do a fine job as the in-game host. High energy, Coom.
I love how he says t-shirt toss.
Oh, he yells it. I love Jesperson's energy. At
what
the game.
gets you more fired up? When what's his fuck says overtime winner, or Jesperson saying time for a t-shirt toss?
Okay, so we're comparing Kevin Quinn's OT goal calls to the t-shirt toss. Chris, you were just at the game on Tuesday.
There's no OT, but Jesperson hands down, because he now stands on top of the little cubby in the wall where the band is.
Yeah.
Cubby.
That's a cubby.
We'll
in the
call
wall.
it a cubby.
And then he throws the t-shirt from off the ledge, and it goes super far, and it's cool.
Jesperson, ultimate pro. Ultimate pro.
I think Jesperson will admit that his first throw this season for the opening game was atrocious.
Oh, he duffed her.
He got chirped pretty hard on Twitter for that one, myself included, and he had some fun with it. But I think he's been working out since then, and his t-shirt toss is much better.
High energy. Love Jesperson as the in-game host. I also love our friends at Get Sauced and all the delicious sauces that they come up with. I have, actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. I've got a delicious lunch I'm going to go eat after this. And I would like some of the jalapeno sauce, Chris, but I think we're running low.
Yeah,
that one
that's
is
the best sauce.
We
by
killed
far.
that bottle super quick.
Oh, I know. And you know what? I never had any for like the first 2 weeks for some reason, and the bottle was half gone. And then I finally tried it with my food. It was the best thing ever. Also, Get Sauce. There's like 3 days left till Christmas. Great Christmas present. Last minute. Need a stuffing
Stucker.
Man, Matt is in your kitchen.
Oh man, what's wrong with me?
I actually
Matt
picked
is in Chris's kitchen.
I picked up a 3-pack of hot sauce from my father, who doesn't listen to the podcast, so I can say that.
Do you know what sauces are in there, Dan?
I got him the the hottest sauces, the hottest sauces that they make. The scorpion sauce,
Reaper,
the Reaper is in there for sure,
and the ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper, yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy, Papa Dan.
Oh, my dad is I don't know if did you guys meet him?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's got no hair on the top of his head, and his joke is that he burned it off years ago
there
with
you
hot
go.
sauce. So he loves the hot
classic
sauce.
dad jokes.
The cutoff to pick up the hot sauce directly from Get Sauce was 22 minutes ago, but stores around Edmonton like Save on Food, Safeway, they carry a Get Sauce, so go pick some up.
My
Great
local
plug.
Safeway has all kinds of Get Sauce sauces. After Christmas, Chris said you can't go see him right now, but after Christmas, go see him 9620 58th Avenue. Give him a call, 780-462-2418. Again, that is 780-462-2418. GetSauce.com. Go do a little shopping. Get a little spice in your life. God damn it, your food is boring. Fix it. Fix it. Another big problem the Oilers have had this last little run is, especially in December, is the power play has been absolutely atrocious. A couple of days ago, Gregor wrote on The Nation about the power play, and in the month of December, the Oilers are running at a 9.1% clip on the power play, and that is a real problem. I would go so far as to say that they blew the game against the Blues. See what I did there, Coom? Double blew. Because they could not score on 5 power play chances. Cam, what's going on with the power play?
Oscar Klefbom's not on the point anymore, and I mean nothing against Arnold Nurse. It's just not really his game. I mean, when you lose Klefbom, you lose that big shot, so it becomes easier to defend, and you don't have that guy at the point. That's the QB that can kind of move it around and be the catalyst. So I think they really need to get, I don't know if the solution's 5 forwards or something else, but you need more of a weapon at the point to distribute the puck.
Do you think the fact that they still have 5 left-hand shots is taking a toll on it?
Well, Chason's out there. He's ready.
Oh yeah, he's back.
Yeah. Pugliarvi on the second unit, though he's never going to see the ice because they don't play very much. Although they have been playing more, because when you suck as bad as they've sucked, Chris, why not throw him out there? When asked about the power play specifically, Ken Hitchcock said, "We are too slow on the flanks. We don't have enough movement on the flanks. We'll get that changed. We are standing still outside the dots and trying to make plays instead of going in attack mode. We are not playing near enough downhill. The major thing for me is our movement across the top is too slow, both with our feet and our puck movement, and it allows teams to recover. We are in the zone a lot, but not much is going on when we get there." Dan, do you agree with Daddy Hitchcock's assessment of the power play?
Of course I do. Literally anything Hitchcock says, I agree with it. He is, I had a tweet there last week that the man could tell me to go and invade Australia by myself and I'd be all in.
Well, you can't because Australia doesn't exist. Cam, thoughts?
Yeah, that's totally true. People talk about this Australia, and that I don't understand.
I think that the big problem... Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
It's okay. I was going to bring it back to topic, but if you want to talk about the Australian...
No, for me, the problem with the power play is that it always starts kind of in the same spot. It goes Connor to Leon to Connor, back to the point to Connor to the point to back to Nuge maybe. Nuge doesn't have Klefbom to do that dirty little back pass that he has, although Daryl scored on that one a little while ago. But it's the same plays over and over and over again.
Well, and to your point, yeah, in all those scenarios you just laid out, it's all perimeter work, and there's no penetration of the defensive box there that gets your power play or gets their penalty kill moving around too much.
I think that extra right shot out there would be a big help. Obviously, it just puts him on his off wing. It opens up a move of either a nice pass or the one-time shot. I don't think Nurse is that big of an issue out there. He can skate. He can move the puck just as well. He has a nice shot. It gets through even maybe a little bit better than Clefbaum's. One thing that really caught my eye the other day was that Hitchcock was taking over the power play in practice yesterday from Gulletson. I'm fairly certain we brought in Manny Vivrios because of his offensive abilities. And so why was he not in charge of this to begin with? What is Manny doing then? Like, it's Yanni's defense, Hitch or McClellan, do the head coach thing. What is he doing? Like, I'm fairly certain that's the reason we brought him in, was for his offensive abilities.
Well, when the season started, you're correct. Yeah, he was mentioned as the power play guy. And then also he was going to be up the eye in the sky for the first 2 periods and then come down for the third period.
In his time with the Swift Current Broncos in the WHL as their head coach, they also won their league last year. Swift Current had the best power play in the league. Kind of goes to Rick's point of why is Manny not kind of handling that? I'd be curious. I kind of assumed that Hitch would kind of have to come in, spend some time learning what everybody does, and then deploy appropriately. But it still hasn't seemed to change all that much. We're still looking at the same power play as we have. And if he took it away from Gullison, that's odd to me, Chris.
My only thing with that is that Hitchcock has only had 4 or 5 full practices.
Yeah, he's been here a month and a bit, but they haven't had a lot of time to practice.
So I think that delays the aspect of Hitch, like overseeing everything very closely. So I think I don't want to read into that too much right now.
No, you're 100% right. That is, we haven't had any practice time. We've played, 1 game every 2 nights, so there hasn't been time to get practices out there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's obviously a big part of it. But it's still a head scratcher why Gulletson was in charge of it from the beginning.
I'm really looking forward to Saturday's game. It's going to be a hard one, but today and yesterday, Thursday, were 2 full practice days for the Oilers. And Hitchcock actually said after Tuesday's game that he just needs a couple practices, work on the power play. So exactly. Yeah.
Didn't they do a double practice yesterday?
Yeah, they did a double practice yesterday. They got the flood and then back out there, boys. Hitchcock's confidence is so funny to me. He's just like, very specific too. He's like, I need 8 days to fix this team. And everybody's like, oh shit,
isn't
8
that
days?
nice
okay.
though? We hear nothing from coaches and GMs out of Edmonton ever. Like, they give us nothing, and Hitchcock is just like reading us his personal diary. It's great.
You know what he reminds me of a little bit? He reminds me of Ralph Kruger in the sense that he's always very positive.
Yeah,
he's always very positive in the media. He doesn't really say he doesn't throw guys under the bus ever, except the refs, and deservedly so, because fuck them. But like, he never is negative towards a guy. Sometimes you would see McClellan get a little bit angry and say, oh, so-and-so needs to play better. That's not a Hitchcock move.
He did confuse the shit out of Connor, though, when he made that comment to the media, how he plays, what was it? There was something positive
reckless.
And then reckless afterwards. And Connor was like, I hope he means that in a good way.
Well,
of course he does, because who would doubt Connor? I think Hitchcock was just kind of commenting on the fact that Connor just plays with that reckless abandon that you can't teach other people.
To me, I assume that everything Hitch says publicly is going to be positive, including that comment. So take it as positive, Connor. And another positive for you, your beard hair combo looks great. Looks great. That's a Christmas gift for me, I feel.
That was very nice.
Christmas gift for Chris, although Matt gets to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matt. Boys, we are going to wind down a little bit, although we may go a little bit long because we have a couple of things with the Christmas season here. First, let's look at the World Juniors that kicks off on Boxing Day. The Oilers have 4 prospects. Well, kind of 4. We'll get to it. Evan Bouchard with Canada, Phil Kemp with U.S., Dmitry Samorukov with Russia, and Ostap Safin has been named to the Czech Republic team, though he may or may not play, battling injuries. Do you guys still look forward to the World Juniors as you're getting a little bit older, Chris? I remember I was super into it when I was the same age as the kind of players. That was like my big kind of Christmas tournament with the buddies. What are your thoughts on the World Juniors?
I'm still just as excited, if not more excited, every year it comes. It's just like, I don't know, now I get more into it. I read more on the players. Like, I feel more educated now about the team than I did when I was like 15 for some reason.
Boxing Day, you have yourself a cocktail.
Oh yeah, it's
throw the hockey game on. Cam, do you love the World Juniors?
Oh yeah, the World Juniors is like, it's like top 5 sports all year. Like it's right up there with like March Madness and shit like that. When it comes around, it's just like that's the only thing I'm interested in watching. Like I'm not as into it in regards to following the players. Like remember during the early 2010s days when you're paying attention to like Martin Marinson and Oilers prospects like that because you think they're going to be all that and shit. But now it's more just like I'm actually watching just for the team. It's just like fun to watch Team Canada just go and like wreck shit.
And
this is always so good.
This year especially, I think Canada's supposed to be the team to beat.
I'm excited to watch that QMJHL kid, the Alexis Lafreniere.
Well, obviously Evan Bouchard is going to be patrolling the blue line for Canada. I'm going to be watching him closely. I assume he's going to be playing a lot of minutes just like he does in London, but who knows considering Canada always has a fairly stacked team. Dan, what do you expect from Evan Bouchard?
From Bouchard, I expect great things. He was the one guy on our team where it was just kind of you penciled him in for the lineup there. He'll be on the top power play and lighten things up for us.
It'll be interesting to see him play against what you could consider all-star teams because when he plays in the OHL, he has such confidence in his own game that his heartbeat is like 6 the whole time and kind of moves the puck like this in any situation because he knows he's better than 98% of the guys out there. So now he's playing guys that are going to be everybody on that team he's against is going to be a lot closer to his talent level. So he's going to have to play a little more urgency, which will hopefully in turn help him when he gets to the NHL because if there's one thing he was doing this year, even when he was up here with us, is that he's so confident with the puck. There is no urgency. You don't do that in the NHL. These guys are going to absolutely kill you. They're going to be on you right away. He's got to get a little more urgency in his game and playing against better competition. I think that'll only help him out.
He'll also be surrounded by teammates and practicing with teammates, the best in Canada. So hopefully, that helps him out too, instead of just being the best player on your team and the best player in the league.
Here's hoping that Bouchard can bring home the goal for Canada this year. We'll be watching him. Obviously, it's way better that the Oilers sent him down, let him play in London. Now he's going to the World Juniors. That's going to be a good experience for him. Thanks to Todd McClellan for refusing to play him to the point where Chiarelli had to send him down. That could be McClellan's greatest gift to the Oilers. That report was very concerning. Anything else on the World Juniors, boys? Excited? Boxing Day, we're going to have full coverage. Your Remchuk's going to cover it for ON. Get all of your World Junior stuff at Oilersnation.com.
I'm excited to watch games at appropriate times too, not the middle of the night.
Yeah, like I love getting up at 4 a.m. or whatever and getting buckled. Yeah. Getting buckled at like 4 a.m. and then all of a sudden you're hungover by breakfast. It's great. It's fantastic.
It was an interesting comment by you, Bag Milk, and it's got me thinking now. You said whereas you were younger and around the age of these guys, you thought it was more interesting. I always thought because I spent the time, my younger years were spent out in Halifax, that because I was following the Mooseheads and junior hockey.
Did you live in Halifax?
I did.
Did Dan live in Halifax?
But I just thought that
allegedly Dan lived in Halifax.
I thought that when I was following junior hockey, that's why I found it more entertaining. But I'm wondering if it is just like an age thing that as you get older, you're not following the guys in the junior ranks as much.
Well, I don't know. It's just for me. It's not that I don't follow them as much. In fact, I follow him more considering what I do for a living now. But like back, say the Eberle year when he did that last second against Russia, all my buddies, we were 18, 19 around there. We were all getting together. None of us had kids. None of us had really long-term girlfriends. We all got together at like 4 a.m, if that's when the games were on or whenever they were. We all just got buckled together. It was like a whole thing. And now you get a little bit older, you don't do that, Chris. People have kids. People are married. People are on vacations away from their real jobs. Back when you had no responsibilities, you get real drunk, watch World Juniors. At least that's what I did.
Yeah.
And then you got old.
And I got old. Happens.
And
it happens
here you
to all
are.
of us. Oh, I still get real drunk, Rick. Don't you worry about that. If there's one thing I do well, it's getting real drunk, and I plan on having a cocktail at the Pine here in probably about an hour.
I can't stop thinking about it.
I'm so hungry.
I'm so hungry too. So we're going to wrap up this with a look at the Lucic goal draft. My friend Rick sitting behind me, we are going to get to you, my friend, because you are running out of games. You had December 11th versus Colorado. You had December 13th versus Winnipeg. You had the 16th versus Vancouver. You've also got the 27th against Vancouver, the 29th against San Jose. You are running out of games, my friend. You went hot and heavy in December.
Like I said before, you had to do it. The longer it goes, the worse it's going to be. He's now dropped from the third line where he's getting I don't know what he was, but I'm sure it was 15, 16 minutes playing out there with those two guys, too much. And now he's going to get dropped down to even less minutes. I made the better bet here, odds were in my favor.
No,
now
I
this is going to
disagree.
be this is going to be a blue moon type of situation.
You're just covering your bases. Your strategy was poor.
Yeah, you're just yep.
If you go 3 games without scoring a goal, it's like, okay, I can get over this. You go 10, it starts to weigh on you. You go 15, it gets even worse.
But
20, 25, 30.
No.
Once those weird games in February show up when all the guys are like really burnt out and you're playing against teams that are totally out of it.
February is time to get going here, boys. We got to get into
Post-trade
this.
deadline when you're playing the Arizona Coyotes and they've given up, that's when he's going to go on.
You're a baseball guy. The dog days of summer is December.
Dog days of winter.
Do I need to remind you guys that I have like 6 games in February? This is my thing.
Yeah, they're all in the same week.
Yeah, it's fine. He's gonna light up. Anyways, this is my
sprained ankle, and you're gonna go 0 for 6 for all of them because he's not even gonna be out there. He could be on a different team by then.
Wow.
You know what? Here's a point. What happens if you get moved?
If he gets traded on one of the days that we have as the game, that person wins.
Yeah, hands down.
That was the same thing. I came up with this rule when we first started. If he retires mid-game and you have that game, you win. So the same thing with the trade.
Lucic is going on a downward spin right now. And he's
out
gonna
of control.
He's going to have an awful January. And then he's going to score at the end of January.
Because every plane you've seen like start spiraling down, they're like, this is only going to get better. Once I get into a really bad tailspin,
we've all
then I can
after every
pull it
hurricane comes a rainbow, Rick.
That's not accurate at all.
Yeah, it is.
The Carolina Hurricanes
wouldn't that be like retirement for him then?
Rainbow.
It's a Katy Perry lyric.
Can we get a Berglund out of him? Would that be too much to ask for?
Get him to retire mid-season.
He's got to do the mutual buyout.
The mutual buyout? Like, okay, guys, I'm out. Like, thank you
How
very much
funny is
for
that?
everything.
Patrick Berglund had $12 million left on his contract. He's pulling in like $4 million a year for the next 3 years or something. And he's just like, I do not want to live in Buffalo.
There's no way anybody looked at that and did not go, no, Luch couldn't. What? But I know, like, could he?
There's
Please?
no way
Maybe?
we should do it. There's no way.
Christmas time, man.
Yeah.
Can we get Santa to help us with this?
I don't know. I think something happened behind closed doors there that like we obviously don't know about with Berglund.
No, it was just living in Buffalo, man. Like,
okay, but
I was in Buffalo last winter for the World Juniors. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, but Buffalo's they're winning though.
Who cares? Buffalo the city is still Buffalo the city, regardless of whether they're winning or losing.
He wasn't playing a lot, like Rick said. I think with Lucic that we're going to have to hope for the Ferens Peninsula to open or some kind of allergy to equipment or something, because he's not going to walk away from what he's got 4 years left at 6 per.
And now I'm so jealous because Buffalo can re-sign Skinner. Because they have no cap, or they have more cap now, and we're stuck with Lucic.
Speaking of Lucic, I've got the game on tomorrow night against Tampa. He is going to get a goal against Tampa. Christmas goal for the big man on the 4th line. Nobody's going to see it coming, and your boy Bag Milk's going to take an early lead in the Lucic goal draft. Thoughts, Dan?
Wrong.
Well, fair.
If Lucic scores against the best team in the league, you deserve that point.
And that's my original draft pick as well. That's a Christmas goal. That is a Christmas goal. I like it. I like it a lot. Cam, thoughts?
He's scoring his first goal of the year on my game on New Year's Eve. Jared is trigger happy.
Jared wants to get to the pint ASAP rock.
He's played the orchestra like 3 times.
All right, he's scoring on New Year's Eve in my game against the Jets, and then I also have the final game of the season in Calgary on the 6th of April, and we travel down. He's going to score there. I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to fall down many seats. Again.
Well, Luch, I need you, buddy. The Christmas break is coming. The Christmas break is coming, and I need you to score. Not just for you, not just for me, but for all of us here at Oilers Nation. For everybody listening to this podcast, I want to thank Sherwood Ford the Giant. I want to thank Get Sauced. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. This is very loud. I don't know if you can hear me over this loud music.
Shout out to Damien.
Shout out to Damien and have a happy Christmas.
Feliz Navidad.
Best wishes.